Okay, so I want to thank everyone for being here. Look, first and foremost, we continue to get the word out about the safety of the vaccine and how important it is for everybody to get it. I've gotten it early on. My 98 and 93-year-old parents got it. They're just fine. My friends and colleagues have gotten it. My entire staff has gotten it, not by my request, just by their own volition. So we need to do that. That is very, very important. But there's a new problem afoot, spurred by the same people who are often spreading the misinformation about the vaccine. And the problem is this: fake COVID cards. There are now people are manufacturing and selling fake COVID cards, even though it's a crime. And this is incredible. Some people, rather than get the vaccine, which is free, are paying money for a fake card and risking prosecution because it's against the law. Who could be that dumb? Who could be that dumb? The vaccine's free, the vaccine's safe, get the vaccine. But right now there are these horrible people selling these cards, and too many people are looking to buy them. The bottom line is that amidst the COVID crisis and successful efforts to get free vaccines out to the masses, there is a new surge, an unfortunate surge of counterfeit COVID cards. A surge of counterfeit COVID cards. They're being sold online, and they're coming in large amounts and large bunches through ports of entry. They're mailed often from China. A lot of people in China are doing these fake cards and selling them online and then mailing them to people through our ports of entry. So, fake vaccination cards have been advertised on the social media, on blogs, and now more new signs point up to a ramp-up of production of fake cards. Is this an epidemic right now? No. Could it become one? Absolutely, if the authorities do nothing about it. So we have to nip it in the bud, and that's what we're here to do today. There are too many instances of this right now. We need the authorities to use the laws that are on the books and stop this from happening. A lot of these cards are made in China. There are always people from China seeming to take advantage of us, and the Chinese government doesn't come down on them. Most people in China, of course, are law-abiding, and we love our Chinese American citizens here in America and in New York. But those few who violate the law should be cracked down upon, and the Chinese government doesn't. So we have to do something about this, and we have to do it here. Just yesterday, there was a bust at the Memphis airport in Tennessee, and it revealed that Chinese counterfeiters looking for cash on vaccination cards sent a whole bunch through that port. But our Border Patrol, our Customs, and our FBI can go all out with inspections and confiscate any of these cards as they come and they are mailed here. They can also go after the people who are mailing them online and try to shut down those sites. There are lots of things that they can do. So today, I am urging a federal crackdown on these counterfeit COVID cards and an education campaign to make it clear to the American people that this is illegal. You could actually go to prison for buying one of these. To boot, there's an easier solution. Get the vaccine. It costs nothing as opposed to the card, and it's certainly not against the law. The law is all in favor of it. So, the feds have to step up their efforts to ameliorate this problem before it gets worse. The Department of Justice must ensure the fraud cases are prosecuted to the full extent of the law, so people know if they engage in this treachery, which is very dangerous. Fake cards are dangerous. Here we are going to great length to let people go back to their activities at restaurants, at sports stadiums, at gatherings, at clubs, with the idea that if you show the card, it's okay. If fake cards become the epidemic, then people will no longer feel safe to gather at these places, and it'll really hurt our economy as well. So there are so many reasons to crack down on these cards. According to the Associated Press, across the internet, this cottage industry has sprung up to accommodate people who say they won't get vaccinated for personal or religious reasons. A user on the encrypted message app Telegram offers COVID-19 card vaccine certificates for $200 apiece. $200 apiece. And just yesterday, as I mentioned, according to the CPB, the Border Patrol, a bust occurred in the port of Memphis where a shipment that came from Shenzhen, China, en route to the Central District of New Orleans, which then people would go pick them up, was intercepted. It was the 15th shipment of the night. 15th. So there are a lot of these happening. It's still not an epidemic, but we got to stop it now. My worry also, of course, is that they may come to JFK. We are the biggest international port of entry. We want to make sure there's thorough inspections at JFK so they don't come here. And they won't be distributed in New York. We haven't seen that yet, although I'm sure people online have bought them here in New York and other places. So we need Border Patrol, Health and Human Services, and the FBI to crack down. And another warning to those who get their vaccine in a real card. Don't post your card on social media because the counterfeiters may use it, just like they try to use if you post your Social Security card or something else. So be careful about that. Okay? So that's basically it. Did I leave anything out, Angelo? No. Okay, we'll take questions on this subject, and then I know you have questions. We're going to take two off topics because they're very much in the news, which are Afghanistan and Haiti. But first, questions on this topic.
Senator, do you think a college student who uses a fake card should go to prison?
I think no one should use a fake card. It's against the law. Maybe the appropriate penalty is a fine. Maybe the appropriate penalty is prison. I think prison is more for the people who are manufacturing these cards than a person who uses it. But a person who gets a fake card should be subject to a fine.
If I could just follow up, what specific laws do you want to enforce that aren't being enforced?
There are laws that say you cannot sell these fake. You cannot sell these fake cards. You can't buy them. Okay. Others on this subject. But in answer to your question, no, unless they're trafficking in them and selling them, it's different. But if they just bought it, fine is the appropriate penalty. Sure. Yes. How about like this? Is that better? Wait, well, now here is what we will do before this thing crashes. We'll do it once on the left side, once in the middle, and once on the right side, which it probably exemplifies the factions in the Congress. Okay, finished with that?
So let me just ask a follow-up. What is this the executive branch not doing now? You said that they...
Well, it's brand new, and I don't think they're paying as much attention to it right now as they should be. Yeah, but I don't think there's enough overall attention across the board. They're doing something, but this could grow.
And also, each agency is doing a different thing.
Yeah, yeah, they got to coordinate among themselves, of course. Okay?
Should these cards have been more counterfeit-proof, like money?
You know, the counterfeiters are going to counterfeit even money they counterfeit. We got to nip it in the bud and stop the production. Okay?
Would there be any other action besides cracking down on sale of fake cards, like to encourage this?
Well, there's lots of encouraging going on to encourage people to get vaccines. There's money. There's even $100 incentives. There's lots of action to do it. It's having some success. The number is going up here in New York and elsewhere. And the best way to prevent Delta and other new strains from spreading is get vaccinated. Because if we have 80–90% of the public fully vaccinated, it'll make it much less likely that a new strain will develop. So even if you don't want to get vaccinated for your own safety, you're saving others, helping others by getting vaccinated.
Do you carry your card, or where do you keep it?
Yes, I have. I have it in my briefcase. I don't think it's in my billfold.
It's in your briefcase.
It's in my briefcase, which is in my car, which is on the street. Well, they may, you know, the cards came out rather quickly because of COVID, but that's one thing that the agency should explore, making them, that's a good point, to making them less counterfeitable. But the real way is to nip it in the bud and get it at the people who are selling this and stop them from coming in, because most of them are coming in from China. Stop them from coming in at the border. Okay? All right. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to make my statements on Haiti and on Afghanistan. First, I just want to say You know, we have such a strong, wonderful, vibrant Haitian community here in New York. And so many of them are on tenterhooks, worried if their loved ones have survived either death or injury, worried if the homes that they once lived in or their friends or relatives lived in are still intact. Haiti is just a wonderful people, and they've had so much tragedy. This wonderful island has had so much tragedy between earthquakes and hurricanes and very bad political leadership. And the Haitian people, many of them have fled to New York. We have, I think, the second largest Haitian community in the world, and it's a beautiful and vibrant community in Brooklyn. So our government has to do everything and go all out with financing, with personnel, with everything it can do to help the Haitian people out of this morass. There are beginning signs of that, but I will be staying on the White House and the right federal agencies to go all out and give Haiti and the Haitian people the help they need. In addition, if there are Haitian families who are worried about their loved ones, they can contact the federal authorities, and if they're not having any luck there, call our office. We have ever since the Haitians started coming to New York, I've had a very close relationship with them. And they're wonderful people. The Haitian people are strong and resilient, and they're tough because they've overcome so much adversity. But they can't do it alone. They need help from our federal government, and I'm going to push as hard as I can to get the help they need. Let's see if I left anything out. Nope. Okay, one final, yes. And I do have faith in the Haitian people that once again they'll overcome this tragedy because they've been through so many and overcome so many. But almost you say, please God, spare Haiti. Okay? Anything else on Haiti? Okay. Are you on Afghanistan? You're an eager beaver. Well, I have something to say on Afghanistan, but you can ask your question and then I'll answer you. Go ahead.
Well, so George, you're on Afghanistan. Are you going to be meeting with President Biden at Camp David? And also, I have a follow-up on Governor Cuomo. Are you confident that Governor Kathy Hochul will be able to leave New York once
Okay.
Governor Cuomo exits?
Well, first let me say something on Afghanistan and let that open up. Okay. So just this morning, we received a briefing from our Secretary of State on the situation in Afghanistan. Events are moving so quickly, but job number one is for us to bring back first all American personnel and help them make sure they get out safely. But second, all of the brave Afghans who helped our military, they have to be provided an exit to come to America, and we've been working on legislation to do that, the SIV program. But third, there are a lot of there are a lot of Afghans who helped us indirectly through NGOs, through the free press. They need to make real efforts to bring them home safely as well. So I have talked to the administration repeatedly over the last week to make sure that we make every effort to bring those brave Afghans who helped our soldiers and helped our country come home, because when the Taliban gets hold of them, Lord knows what will happen to them. And so we must do that. It's job number one. Anything else on Afghanistan? Some will be able. We'd like to change the laws to make it easier. The people who helped our army can come. The people who worked in the NGOs, you know, the service organizations, it's unclear, and we're trying to clarify that law right now. Hopefully they won't need legislation, but I'd be for pushing legislation, and am pushing legislation to make that happen.
Are you going to meet with folks at Camp David?
I haven't been invited. Whenever the president calls, I answer the phone. Whenever he invites me to come meet with him, I come.
Are you satisfied with how the administration is handling this?
Look, as I said, right now the focus has to be totally on getting these brave, first all-American personnel out, and our the brave Afghans who helped us through the years out. And then we'll have to look at everything else.
Doesn't sound like a vote of confidence.
I said what I had to say. First focus is on helping get people out. Okay?
Senator Allen, follow Secretary Blinken. Did you get a clear answer on whether President Ghani has left the country and where the U.S. ambassador?
Did not get. I've heard news reports, but we didn't get a clear answer. At least I didn't hear one. Okay?
Was it a mistake to be in Afghanistan?
As I said, my first focus, right now our focus should be on getting the people out. That's focus number one. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion afterwards, but right now, let's get the people out. Okay? Yeah, I called Governor, or she actually called me within an hour after the governor resigned, and I told her I look forward to working with her administration. I look forward to working with her administration. Okay?
If you don't mind, Senator, on infrastructure and the vote in the House, we have the 9 Democrats who have sent a letter to the Speaker saying they're not going to vote on this before vote of reconciliation before the initial package. How do you think the House should address this?
The bottom line is that we ought to pass both. I know there are some people who say just pass one of the two. I developed a 2-track strategy to both at once that is moving forward in the Senate, and Speaker Pelosi is an advocate of the 2-track strategy, and I believe she will advocate for the same in the House. We should not do one without the other. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.